Hello, Mario. Land Surveying 1, Levelling Assignment Review. In this video, I'm going to take a look at a student's levelling assignment and we're going to analyse it, see how we could improve it, and just to give you a bit of an idea of what to expect for 2017. So let's go to full screen and let's take a look at this assignment. So here we have the assignment and we're looking at the cover page. So a reasonable cover page, keep it simple. I'll try to keep it interesting. A bit more exciting photograph would be helpful there. And then we will move into the bulk of the report. Okay, so here we have the scope, which is just a little bit of an outline of the report, nothing too great, just a summary of the situation and how things work. The origin of levels. This origin here needs a little bit of work. There are two aspects to any origin. One is the datum, and the other is the actual origin of the values or origin of heights. So the datum is the datum that you're working on. In this case here, 2016, we used an assumed datum. In 2017, I've decided that we will use a live datum, a Motoriki datum. So the origin of levels and the datum would be, level datum would be Motoriki datum. Motoriki is a small island in the Mount over in Tauranga, where a tide gauge was established for a number of years. From that, a mean high watermark was determined, and from that a sea level value, and then that value was transferred using levelling techniques of various kinds over to here in the Waikato. So the datum is Motoriki datum. The origin of heights is IBMM, which has a value on it of 37.670. So datum and origin of heights are essential. The same goes, you'll find, for coordinates later on. A datum, you need to establish state what the datum is, and then give the values that for your survey, or the origin of the values for your survey, where they came from and what have you. Methodology. In the methodology section, there's probably just enough detail here. You don't want to go too far. You don't want to get down to the nitty-gritty of back sites and foresights and how many you took and where you positioned your level and sort of that. Your client's not interested in that. Your report is for the benefit of your client. They have specific information requirements, and that's what they know. There's other data there that's reassuring, handy to have, a good background, but not too much information in some ways, or go into too much detail. So we've got here the methodology. So describe the gear that you used, what sort of method you used, perhaps a little bit of detail around what you did first and how you did it if you feel it's relevant, and what other information you did, what you did, and specifically in this case here in the area of the little hill and the mound. I've sort of explained how things were done there, just to reassure the client as to what they were, and to clearly state from your own point of view, the limitations of what you have done. Obviously, you don't want to overstate the accuracy of what you've done. So your client needs to have an appreciation of the context of the values that you're giving them. Accuracy is important, so you need to discuss the accuracy. Probably a little bit more discussion than is here. Perhaps an explanation as to how many setups were used in this sort of circumstance, and how you determined that, and how your results relate to the actual accuracy, that the well within, or any problems. Health and safety, you need to mention the health and safety and perhaps show that you've got some examples of how you adhere to it. Perhaps a little allude to your company's excellent record and how they really value or put a high emphasis on health and safety. Your outputs, in this case here, just need, we were just after levels. Very well done, everything's to 3 decimal places. I would have possibly made this column a little bit narrower. There's a little bit of wasted space down in the middle there. But yeah, generally that's all good. So that's the outputs. Perhaps a little bit of an explanation, maybe, with regards to what the information is and what have you. Recommendations. Yes, it's always good to reflect on what you've done, indicate improvements that could be made, or perhaps point out to your client some aspects of the work that may need further attention and all that. So it's always good, just to let your client know that you're thinking about things and you're keeping their interests up and that sort of thing. And then in conclusion, a nice little summary or roundup of what you have done and indicating that it meets their needs and how you'd like to work with the client again and have ongoing work. And then finally, a list of attachments listed there in the order that they would appear next, following. Okay, so next here we have is the a little plan. Now what's happened here is that we've used a plan has been used that was provided, the site plan. My preference is that these plans be done in digital in CAD, and I will be doing a video showing you how to do that and giving you the available information of this underlying plan. One of the key elements of CAD is that you do things once. You don't draw the same thing over and over and over again. So if it's been drawn once, you source that information, manipulate it and adjust it to do what you want, and I will be showing that in a video later on. The long section is for the Bachelor of Engineering Technology students. NZDE students will collect the data but not draw up a long section. So I will produce a plan or a video showing you how to draw up a long section, something similar to this, possibly using this information, possibly exaggerating the vertical components so that we can have a bit of a look. Alright, now we have the finder diagrams. The finder diagrams, in this case here, there is some written material on them. The idea would be to have them all digital. I have done videos on how to draw finder diagrams. The idea is that each member of the team draws at least one finder diagram, possibly two. Then all of the finder diagrams from all the team members are collated together to form a comprehensive set of finder diagrams for the job. One of the key things here is consistency, keeping the diagrams consistent. You don't want each person having a different sort of diagram, a different form or something like that. So you need to work on that together so that each person can draw one, but all of the diagrams look like they've been drawn by the same person. And that can be very hard to achieve at times. You need to look very carefully and analytically at what you've done. So here's some more diagrams. Okay, now we're coming up to the 2P test, which was done in the field. Remembering that that was done as part of earlier exercises in the course, possibly on session 2. So important that it's kept, that the form is completely filled in. There's no missing bits. An incomplete form indicates to your client or casts doubt for your client. Is the job finished? Did they finish the job? Did they just leave it there? Have they worked it out? These are important things for clients because they need that reassurance that everything's accurate. Okay, so now we're starting to get into some leveling data. Some of it is reduced. It should be reduced to a point where you know that when you leave the field that it's within acceptability. Now this one here is obviously possibly be abandoned. It should have been crossed out. Field notes should be drawn in pencil. There should be no rubbing out in a field note. You should, if something is incorrect, draw a line through it and write above it. Just a single line, not multiple lines, don't obliterate it or try and remove it from the face of the earth or anything like that. So here we go, and more data, and it's been reduced, what have you, and I show videos on how to reduce things and what have you, and all the values. It's also been adjusted. There is a little bit of unacceptable sort of the way things are done here. Red has been used to emphasize, which is not a bad idea in light of that, but generally pencil, as I say, no rubbing out, a single line through, crossing out clearly, and what have you. So this is our field data. I will note that it doesn't appear to have been completed. So is it complete? Is there more work to do? Has it all been done? Do we know what instrument number was used? These are all important things. Forms must be complete, and there is marks generally taken off if the form is not completed appropriately. Okay, so now we've got the information here. It has all been completed with dates and things like that, but done in a digital spreadsheet and provided like so, with everything sorted out and adjusted. That's very good. I would make these possibly 3 decimal places. Here's the 2p test, just checked and adjusted. It's all very good work, well done, all sort of sorted out and done using an Excel spreadsheet, which is awesome. More of that and more of that there, all the information. Hopefully that it'll be collated together, and the results have been put into the test. I would make these all 3 decimal places. All right, everything's filled in. That's all good. The survey job instruction as indicated. Here we have the team score sheet. Each member of the team must score the others in the team. If you do not put a sheet in, you will not get any marks. The other members of your team will get marks if they put a team scoring sheet in. If you're the only person in a team to put a scoring sheet in, you'll get 10 out of 10. But it's important that everybody put them in. So the hazard ID, again, fully completed. Make sure this will be done in pencil and things like that. Hazard ID sheet, obviously, it's done in the field. And make sure it's fully completed and dated. This is the Health and Safety Manager up here, and various things there. These are the practical task sheets. Again, they're completed with the diagrams. They're very helpful for the marking. They make the marking so easy. I would say that the student name is missing here. That's very important. We don't want multiple copies of the same one with different names put in them. This one here, the student name's been filled in, so that's really good. So finally, that's a reasonable, pretty much assignment, addressed most of the issues. As you can see that all of the practical stuff has been ticked off with the various practical task sheets here being submitted, fully complete and signed off. There's a few things down here, the weightings, and they are marked out of 10. So as I indicated, the accuracy perhaps needed a little bit more work, and the level datum need to be clearly stated. But otherwise, everything was pretty good. I did mention about those field notes. They are a little bit incomplete. Perhaps I should have taken maybe a couple of points off for that, but they managed to escape or run through that gauntlet unscathed. And then finally here, this is the team scoring sheets where the points have all been averaged up, and you can see that there's just one team member thought that this person could complete the tasks a little bit more readily, and attendance obviously was a wee bit of an issue for some people, but generally a pretty good score there of 0.99 out of 99%. So these are all tallied up, and that gives you 98% for that assignment, or 9.84 out of 10. So a pretty good assignment, but obviously there's some room for improvement. A few little tweaks and adjustments and amendments that I would have done before, if this was my company, before it was sent out to the to the client. So here's the feedback from the team, which is made up of from those that are there, and also some feedback from the tutor. Now, in all of this, if you've got any questions, come and see your tutor. Bring some draft information, and we can discuss and have a look at it. So it's important that we get these things right. So this particular report there, remember, it's a one-file PDF report, and it will be that particular one. I would have a couple of amendments and things done to that before it went out to the client. Typically, in a working situation, you'll prepare a report and then submit it to your manager, who will maybe have a look at it and suggest a few amendments, get it tidied up, and then it's sent out to the client. These are important quality controls, because without the clients you won't have any work. Without any work you won't have any job. So it's important that you don't send out rubbish to the client, or you don't send out things that are unprofessional, not very well done, and that type of thing. So it's really important that the product or the thing that you're creating, which in this case is a report, and your data, which is contained within your report, it's important that stuff be top quality and fairly represent your company. So let's see how we go. Good luck with the assignment, and hopefully I'll have lots of discussions with you so that you can get very close to 10 out of 10 moving forward for that one. Cheers. See you.